He slept right next to a girl that he likes getting smashed by his best friend. Which one of y'all females want to go in the bathroom with me real quick? You can't even take her home. I thought we were gonna get jumped. Guys are going to shoot you. Mexican in me kicked in. All of a sudden I knew how to dance like I was Usher. I feel like the world would be a much better place if men could walk around with their shirts off. You brought her all the way to the 1 yard line, but you couldn't fucking score. You're gonna sneak a baddie into your mom's house? Nobody wants to struggle and eat protein bars. The person you spend every day with in bed is thinking about somebody else. It's lonely at the top for a reason. The one that I think is the most important is, what is going on, YouTube? I'm back with another video today. And before I get started, you guys already know the drill. My link is right here to my socials. Follow all my socials. Link in the description to get a one-on-one consultation call where we could talk all things fitness. We could talk all things dating. We can talk all things mental. We can talk all things progression in general. Alright, so before we get in the video, check that out and let me know if that's something you're interested in. We can set up a qualification call and we can get started. But without further ado, we got a topic, man, and I really want you guys to just hear this video out first. Like, I really want you guys to just see the video through. I feel like this is such a big topic, especially for men. You can tell that this is going to be a question that a lot of guys want to know. What is more important, money or fitness? We're about to find out right now. And again, this is my personal opinion on what I think is better. And normally whatever I think is pretty accurate. So this is going to be an accurate answer onto which one is more important, if you look at it that way. So it's kind of like an age-old question. It has been debated so many times. What is better? Is it better to be jacked and broke, or rich and fat, or just jacked or rich in general? Like, which one has more power? Which one is going to give you what you want? Which one is your definition of success? Which one is going to give you women? Which one is more beneficial for your life? Which one is going to increase your sexual market value? Which one is more necessary for a guy? So as you guys know right now, I'm on the road to becoming a millionaire, right? But in the moment we were in the trenches, in the moment we were working, in the moment we were grinding, in the moment we were stacking our fucking days. With that being said, I can speak from a position of having money already. If you guys know my story, I had money, I had the lifestyle before I had it taken away from me. And I could also speak from the position of right now being in shape, being ripped, being handsome, being jacked, without any funds, jacked, without being rich, without being extremely wealthy. So I'm going to go into both topics. I'm going to go into why being jacked is important, the pros and cons of being jacked, right? If you haven't watched my other video of me in Mexico, you will be able to see what it's like when you're jacked, when you care about the way you look. Because I'm trying to tell you right now that I felt rich. Not only did I felt rich, I felt better than being rich. I wasn't buying women bottles and inviting them over to my section. No, they were buying me shots. They're offering me drinks. They're trying to get me drunk. They're offering me drinks. They were inviting me over to their section, which somebody else paid for, who wasn't jacked, who obviously had a little bit of money. But guess what? Because I was jacked, because me and my homie were ripped as fuck, we were able to sit at that table. And he looked, I'm not even gonna lie, I felt bad for the dude. He looked so damn sick. I could tell that he did all this work just for two other guys who had literally, we went out there with like no fucking money at all. No fucking money at all. But we lived a rock star type lifestyle. We walked in there, the women were on go right off the bat. Pulled them, got our Instagram, hung out with them right off the bat, gave us shots from his bottle like right in front of him, and he wasn't saying a fucking word. And just off looks alone, I was living like Drake, like a rock star lifestyle. I walked in with like 20 bucks and I walked away with like 100, because not only was I getting free drinks, but I also had a woman literally pay me to dance with her. You know, I made eye contact with one of the girls. I'm like, no, it's okay. I don't even know how to dance. I don't know how to dance. I know how to have a girl like grind on you. That, you know what I mean? Like, that's whatever. But I didn't know how to dance in general. But I kind of said no at first, but then she insisted. She said it was her birthday, and then she just kept saying one song. I was like, I don't know. And then she mentioned the money. And when she mentioned the money, all of a sudden the Mexican in me kicked in. All of a sudden I knew how to dance like I was Usher, like I was Chris Brown. For some change, stop playing. At the time, I have no fucking money. You know, I'm feeling the liquor a little bit. Like, fuck yeah, all right, whatever. You know what I mean? Send that shit my way. Let's go. So with one dance, I left getting paid. I pulled up to the club and they paid me to be there. So that really just goes to say, when you're dedicated, when you're working, when you care about the way you look, when you're in the gym and you're working, you're getting jacked, you're eating the right things, you're staying disciplined, your skin's glowing differently, you look different, you look fly, and you pull up to an event where you could take your shirt off, oh, gosh, it's game over. They're going to shoot you. The guys are going to shoot you. That's how bad it was. I thought we were going to get jumped. I thought somebody was going to do something. Do something. Ref, stop him. But I kept going. And the night was mine. There wasn't anything I didn't want. There wasn't a woman there that said no to me. There wasn't a group I couldn't walk up to. There wasn't an eye contact that I didn't want. I had like 100% success rate. And I remember not even wanting to go. I remember not even wanting to go out there. You know, I knew the funds was low. I knew I was in a little bit of a sticky situation, and I could just tell that my aura was even down a little bit. But because I grind so hard and I do what I need to do every single day, the world will always give you a reward depending on how hard you work. To this day, an insanely memorable night. So even though my aura was low, even though my vibe was low, being jacked, it still boosts your confidence in a certain type of way. Like, I couldn't wait to take my shirt off when I was there. I couldn't wait to show what I had worked on. When I'm outside, I'm so proud of the way I look. I hate when I have to put on a shirt. I just feel like I'm hiding all the work and the dedication and the sacrifices that I made when I'm wearing a shirt. And I feel like shirts are really invented by guys who aren't in the gym, by guys who are lazy and they have no purpose, because shirts are really a nerf, bro. Shirts are a nerf. If you're a guy and you're in the gym, you know that shirts just are going to put you on an even plane with everybody else. If anything, if you're jacked, if you're ripped and you have a shirt, you're going to look worse than the guys who don't work out at all, because they just fill out a shirt a little better, while you might have a little waist and a big chest, but the chest, it makes you look weird. It makes you look like boxy now. So now you have to wear a certain type of outfit now, and sometimes it can look kind of wacky, or sometimes it can look like you're doing too much, or your shirt's too tight, bro, this and that, and it's just problems, right? I feel like the world would be a much better place if men could walk around with their shirts off, because it would just show who is really like that and who isn't. Because when you're when you're actually on your shit, you're actually on your shit, you're actually in the gym, you're actually working, you're not out here shooting Tren, you know what I mean, just to build a body, and it looks nasty. Like, the body looks nasty. Like, you're truly natural. And if you're not natural, you're pretty much right fucking there. Like, you're not doing the most, but you're pretty much natural, right? Your hormone levels aren't too fucking out of whack, out of balance. Like, you're still a normal fucking human being, and you just have a great physique, a great body, right? And not only are you not on the complete opposite side, but you're also not fat. You're also not fat. So this puts you in such the good range of being better than 99% of the rest of the population, of the rest of males, and it just gives you a huge advantage. You're jacked, you're fit, your skin glows, your teeth are white, your hair is growing perfectly, your beard is shining, like, everything about you is just fire, right? So it just gives you a certain type of edge over the rest of the competition. And trust me when I say, you need everything you can get. In such a competitive society now, you need every single enhancement that you can get. There is, at this point, you can never do too much. You can never do too much at this point. Everything you do is not enough. So you need to max out on everything you need to do. You're going out, people are 6'5" with veneers, tatted head to toe, and you know what I mean, they got all this shit, they got money, they got fitness, they're checking all the boxes. Why the fuck would that girl want to fuck with you when he's over there standing looking way better than you? Why would she want to fuck with you when there's a better option over there? Unless it's the end of the night and all the options have gone home, okay, you might get lucky now because you're a second choice. You're sloppy seconds, right? So you might get lucky. She might let it slide for tonight, whatever, okay? But other than that, why would she want you? You need to do everything that you can, level up as much as you can. And again, not everything is about women. I understand this. Not everything is about women. But I know what the fuck y'all want. Y'all literally want women. Y'all, so in a way, everything is kind of about women. Everything is kind of about women. So if this is the number one thing that you want, then you need to get jacked. And if you look at it, even people who have money, they still wish they looked good. They still wish they had a nice body. Inevitably, more than likely, the people with money, the men with money, they're going to resort to fitness anyways. Because deep down, this is what they want. So a lot of gym bros are okay with not having money. They're cool to just work a job, go to the gym and look right. But people with financial success, a lot of them still want a nice body. So deep down, this is what we want as men, naturally. Naturally, everybody wants to look good. Everybody wants to have that movie, action, superhero body look, right? Deep down, we want this. So how long are we going to keep hiding from the truth and say that this isn't important? This isn't what we truly want. This isn't what all men want. Because we can hide from it, we can run it, we can run from it, we can cope with money. But at the end of the day, most men, we all kind of think the same, think pretty similar. So what the majority of us want, the odds are more than likely everybody wants this. Little baby's in the gym right now, right? Gunna just lost a whole bunch of weight. Moneybag Yo. We also have Jeff Bezos is getting in the gym now. Jeff Bezos is getting in the gym now, taking a whole bunch of TRT, just manning up, bulking up. Everybody, this is what everybody wants. This is truly what people want. It just gives you a certain type of respect. It gives you a certain type of confidence, and it's literally protection. The bigger you are, the less somebody wants to fuck with you. The bigger you are, the more a woman feels protected by you. And that makes sense because you're bigger, you're stronger. You have more of a physical presence, a physical dominance. This is just natural for us. Right? This is just natural for us. If there's two lions and one of them towers over the other one in strength, in size, in height, you're going to be more afraid of the bigger, taller one, right? So the same thing works for us. Of course, both are dangerous, but I'm not going to go, I'm going to take my chances with the smaller one. I don't really want to go I don't want to go get in the big one's cage. Fuck that. If I have to feed in line every single day, and if I'm a zookeeper and I have to feed in line every day, right? I'm going to be afraid of both, but I'm going to be fucking terrified of the big one. Terrified of the mean one. Terrified of the one who's always just looking at me, scary, with those big ass arms and those big ass legs. I'm going to be scared of that motherfucker. I don't want to fuck with him, right? So we think the same way. We think the same way. You're going to get that respect that is going to open a lot more doors than being pretty or being soft or being feminine or having money and fake friends are going to open for you. More pros of being jacked are building habits, building traits that would be very, very difficult to build without being in the gym. Would be very, very difficult to learn and obtain in other realms, right? So being jacked, it gives you patience, perseverance. I know for a lot of you guys, how long did it take you to hit 225? How many tries, how many reps did it take you to get to 225? Realistically, that's like a milestone for a lot of gym bros, right? It's 225. So once you hit that, what was that feeling? How long did you wait? How long did you grind? How many meals did you eat to hit that milestone? And 315, don't even get me started on 315. But for 225, right? How long did it take you to get that? What did you learn from, if you really think about it, what did you learn from that? And you're going to tell me what you learned from that wouldn't transgress into finances, wouldn't transgress into a relationship. The traits that you learn from having to grind your ass off and smartly figure out a way to tack on muscle, tack on weight, fix your form, learn YouTube videos on how to do it, how to place your feet, form, you know what I mean? You learn all of this shit. You did the research. You did what you needed to do to obtain a goal, right? So why wouldn't you be able to use those same principles into every other aspect of your life? So that's what I mean when I say by going to the gym and getting jacked and building your body very specifically to the way that you want And then finally getting it is just going to give you traits that nothing else that I could genuinely think of in this world is going to allow you to learn. Sports is another example, but again, you still have to get jacked to play sports, damn near. You still have to put on a lot of weight. You still have to put on a lot of effort in the gym, a lot of work in the gym. You still have to do the same things that you would if you were just a gym bro, right? It's kind of the same thing. So it's only through physical acts and the gym can you truly learn to build these traits, because nowhere else can teach you these life lessons but the gym. Because the gym is the truth. The gym is life or death. Can you get under that bar and can you lift it? Yes or no? If you can't, you can't. If you can, you can. You can't learn that anywhere else. Can you buy this? No, I can't. But I could take out a loan. I could ask my dad. You know, I could weasel some money. You know what I mean? I make this work. I could find ways to skip the work to get, depending on what you want, to get said item that you want. Well, the gym is like, you can't ask your dad for fucking help. When you're under that bar, you can't look, help me lift it, because then you didn't hit the rep. It's all up to you. There's nobody else there. It's all up to you. Can you pick it up or can you not? It's that fucking simple. The mental strength, the mental realization that this is reality, that this dude is literally stronger than me. No matter how hard I'm trying, this dude is still lifting more than me. No matter how hard I try, I still can't hit my PRs. So this is so good for your mind because it is mental reality. It is the truth. There is no hiding. I can't do the weight. He's stronger than me. I need to go back and I need to level myself up. So it's so good for the mind, especially as a man. It's so good for the mind. It's so good for you. And that's a lot of the pros as to why being jacked is more important. Why being jacked is really the overall king of things that you should have as a man. And before we get into why being rich would be king, we're going to go into the cons. We're going to go into the cons of why being jacked isn't always the best solution, right? And the first one that I want to get into is just because you look good doesn't mean a woman always wants you, right? Just because you look good doesn't mean doesn't mean a girl is always going to want you. Some women don't care about that, and depending where you're at, women will choose the other guys just because they have all the other characteristics that you do. If all you have to bring to the table realistically is just your looks, like, yes, you can do a lot with that. Yes, you can still pull. I've done it many times before. But if that's all you're bringing to the table, some women will find that as not enough or useless. So you have to remember that. Just because you look good, not all women are going to want you all the time. Some women don't care about things like this, right? Some women just don't care. Some women think that other things are more important than just being jacked and being a gym bro, which is completely understandable, because if that's all you are, that's all you have to bring to the table, all you want to do is fucking talk about protein bars and what your max rep bench is, then that's boring. You're a little boring. Why would a girl want to be with that? You're so one-dimensional. You're a meathead. You don't ever want to be just a meathead. I have a body, I have the look, but in real life, I never talk about the gym. I never talk about the gym when I'm outside. I never brag about the way I look when I'm outside. This is just an enhancement to who I am. This is not the topic of discussion. You guys can see it. I know I have it. So let's keep it pushing. You know I look good. Everybody there knows I look good. As soon as I take my shirt off and I walk in the room, everybody's staring for a few seconds. Cool. All right. What are we going to do next? What are we going to do next? Which one of y'all females want to go in the bathroom with me real quick? Because we got to get this rolling. We're not going to sit here and talk about my chest or my arms or my abs all day fucking long. Because I don't want to talk about that. Okay? Let's get the ball rolling. And if you're just jacked and you're just a gym bro, another con to this is, let's say you do pull the girl, right? Which the odds obviously increase greatly when you look good and when you're jacked and the shirt just fits right. And you're wearing a nice outfit, and you're trying, and you're smooth, and you have the personality, of course, it's going to work, right? But if you're broke, where the fuck are you going to take this girl? If all you do is go to the gym, if all you do is fucking count your macros, wake up, go to the gym, come home, or you have some bullshit low-ass job, and you really don't have that much money, you really don't have a car, you really don't have a place, where are you going to take the girl? Congratulations, you pulled her. You brought her all the way to the 1 yard line, but you couldn't fucking score. You couldn't score. You all the way to the 99 yards on a football field, but you could not score. You could not get in the end zone. That's the only part that mattered. Where are you going to take her? Where are you going to take her? To your mom's house? You're going to sneak a baddie into your mom's house? And you're okay with that? Just, you know what I mean? You're going to sneak her into your mom's house, make her take off her fucking shoes, tell the dog to shut the fuck up, or, you know, or plan ahead, put the dog in your mom's room, put the dog in the bathroom. Now we're letting the dog fucking suffer because you can't get your shit together. And this girl, you're holding her hand through the dark house, you have the lights off, sneaking her into the room, you know what I mean, doing your little process to drown out the sound. Now she's in here, right, and now you have this 10 out of 10. You somehow manage to fucking bring her in the room, and now you can't even do exactly what you want to do to her because it's gonna be too loud. It's gonna be too loud. So now you went through all of this for what? Maybe you did smack. Maybe you were cold enough to still do it anyways. Right? A 10, a real baddie, not just a normal girl. Normal girl, of course, a normal girl would do that, but like a real baddie. She was okay with it. You're just that dude. You're that cold, right? You snuck her in. You did the whole 9. You know what I mean? Get rid of her, and you have to go through the whole process again. And now it's like 5 in the morning. You didn't sleep, and it's just fucking. And she's not hitting you up for a second link, and it's just a mess. Or you don't even have a fucking car. So not only did you fucking get her, pull her, do all smooth work in the club, tell her, you know what I mean, tell her the lies that you're probably telling her, right? And then you finally get her, right? And now you can't even take her home. You can't even take her home. You tell her you have to convince your friend to leave, right? And then we can go home because, oh, I didn't drive. My car's in the shop. You know what I mean? Now you're out here lying to the bitch because you couldn't get your shit together. So you're just putting yourself in a terrible, terrible position to win. You're lowering your odds of getting what you really want. And a lot of times when you get to a certain age, right, guys, you have to remember that women are smart. When they realize time is ticking, you know, and they're getting a little older, women are very, very smart. Women are very, very smart. They're going to find a man to settle with. They're going to find a man that makes the most sense. And it's very, very difficult for them to want to risk that relationship for you. Why would a man that she already slept with, she already caught his body, you know what I mean? She's already not really attracted to him, but she's so deep in the relationship and she met the parents and she stays with him now. Why would she risk that security that she is sacrificing who she really wants to be with, right? A guy like you, right? Why would she risk that for you? Of course she has her cravings. Of course she might actually want you, but why would she risk that security for you because you have big arms and she's fantasizing in her mind like, yes, most women won't fold. A smart girl will not fold to that. She will realize that she already has something good for her, something safe for her. And she's not going to jeopardize that for a guy who's in shape, who's jacked, who's very attractive, who, you know, is more her type than the guy that she's messing with, the guy that she's seriously dating. She's not going to jeopardize that. Unless you have some money, unless you are financially better, financially safer, financially more well off than the guy that she's with right now, she can't really consider you as an option. Especially if you're her type, then okay, she's going. She don't give a fuck anymore because you're just the better option overall. But if you just have a body and that's all you have, your odds of getting that girl who, you know, has a man, but you know she truly wants you, your odds of, you know what I mean, making that happen are very, very low. Unless she's just a real 304 and she just doesn't give a fuck and she's willing to take that risk. But the smart ones, the gorgeous ones, the ones who are in an area of money and wealth already and they're pretty established, they have a family, you know what I mean, they're pretty well educated, they're not going to take that risk for you. I'm telling you right now. Another thing about being jacked, right? Another con about being jacked, and this is one that people really don't really understand. This is one that people overlook a lot. When you're jacked, depending on how locked you are, depending on how dedicated you are to your craft, and again, the more dedicated you are, the better you look, right? That's just how it works, right? So the more locked in you are, you're most likely not going to get that much women. You might even scare some of the women away. because you're so rooted into your schedule, you're so rooted into your routine that you really don't have any access time to go on a date. You really don't have any access time, extra time, because you need to get up early. You know, you need to go do what you need to do in the morning to get a head start on the competition. So you can't stay up late and talk to them. You know, you can't really sneaky link that much because sneaky links happen late at night, right? And you're sleeping around that time. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be very difficult to it's gonna be very difficult to be able to build that connection with the girl, or let alone even find a girl who understands the path that you're on right now, the type of dedication that you're on right now. Because most of the time, a lot of women don't really understand this, right? They want to go on a date, but you're telling them right now, you can't go get ice cream right now. I'm locked the fuck in. I got a competition in 2 weeks. I got to make a content video tomorrow about how to build abs. And if I go get ice cream with you, now I'm not going to have the bottom 2 abs, and I'm losing potential clients. I'm losing potential businesses, potential brand sponsorships, losing opportunity by being with you. So I can't go get ice cream right now. I can't go eat a steak full of butter right now, because that is going to mess up what I have going on for me. And again, you're not really going to pull that much women. You might get some, like some gym girls might understand, but even then, they still might not even understand, because the type of expectation that you have for yourself, you're gonna naturally want that for the people around you, right? Or else you can't be around them. Because if I hang around people with lower standards and they don't work out as much as me, as hard as me, they don't go as hard as me when it comes to meal planning and all this other shit, right? I'm gonna think that that reality that they live in is normal. I don't want to feel that way. I don't want to think that way. So you have to be on my level. And if you're not on my level, I can't be with you. And most women, 99.9% of women are not on that level. It's too hard for them. It's too much dedication. Women just want to have fun. Girls just want to have fun most of the time. So they're not really going to hold themselves to the type of expectations that you are, and it's going to be too much for them. You're going to scare them away, right? And that's just the truth of when you're too jacked, when you're too locked in, and there's nothing wrong with being too locked in. If you want to be great, be great. That's your calling. Go for that gold, right? But you have to understand that the type of sacrifice this comes with. You have to understand the type of cons that this comes with. And you're really only ever going to shine when you can take your shirt off. You're really only going to shine, and this is like the last pro, you're only going to shine at the beach, or you're only going to shine at the gym. Other than that, remember, most people don't work out. Most people aren't dedicated. So other than that, people are going to gang up on you. You know what I mean? People are going to start, you know what I mean, throwing slight shades of hate on you when you're in public, you're at the club, because you're just out of your element and you're in an undedicated place of people. So they're going to make you feel almost outcasted, almost a little weird, almost different, right? Some of them might gas you up. Of course, there's always people that will gas you up, but for the most part, you know what I mean, the people who feel some type of way, which is everybody, they're all going to have something to say. So most likely you're only going to feel like you're the man at the gym until you develop the mindset over years of training and over years of understanding that you can most likely beat everybody up at this club. So once you get that type of mindset that these people can't fucking touch me, then you'll be alright. You know, you'll feel like the man anywhere you go. But until you get there, a lot of bodybuilders, a lot of people who are in the gym are actually extremely fucking insecure. They work out to slow songs and they're just always sad. Like they're in there because they're sad. No, there's a way to do this correctly. The way to do it correctly is to heal. Why are you in the gym looking for a place to heal? It just doesn't make any sense to me. You should already be healed going into the gym. Now that I'm healed, I just want to better myself so that I could outcompete the competition. I want this so bad I'm willing to go outcompete the competition. You shouldn't be going in there because you're fucking sad and, you know, instead of cutting yourself, you're going to go to the gym and hurt yourself. Like, no, I don't really believe in the gym being the therapy in that way. I believe the gym being therapy in a way to release energy as a man, because you can't always just go out into the park and start fucking screaming and throwing things and yelling and moving shit and punching trees. You can't do that. But at the gym, you could scream. At the gym, you could punch punching bags. At the gym, you could move shit. At the gym, you could throw on a lot of weight and just exert energy. So that's what I mean by, I look at the gym as more of therapy rather than I look at it as more of, you know, like a heartbreak relationship consultation. Like, no, I don't believe in the gym being that. I think a lot of you guys need to heal, and once you guys, are mentally better, then you can go to the gym and you can work on yourself, and you can just find a better girl. You can find a girl that works out there. So that's the cons for that. Now I really want to go into wealth, being rich, right? Because finances is a whole different ballgame, but it's not everything. I had a friend one time, right? And this dude, balling, he was up in the richer, nicer parts of the area, Newport, right? And we were all at the club, and he was talking to this girl. She was pretty bad too. She was like a supermodel, like looked like a little white Barbie doll, right? So we're all at the club, and this dude's just buying her bottles. This dude's just getting her signs, and the signs are saying, how, happy birthday to whatever the fuck her name is. It's her day. He's just spoiling the fuck out of her. Rose petals, roses. He's doing the whole fucking nine. Like, he's just spoiling the shit out of this girl the whole night. Rented a Lambo. She was in a Lambo. You know what I mean? He not only was having the time of his life, but he was giving her a birthday to fucking remember. And he rented a B&B for like 10 people. He's spending his own money on this girl for her birthday, which is understandable, right? If that's your girl. But as soon as we get to the B&B, right, him and the girl, they start arguing, and I'm sitting here, I'm asking him to the side while we're walking to the B&B, right? I'm like, hey, like, why are you guys even arguing, right? And he's telling me, he's like, oh yeah, I got in a fight with this guy, I knocked him out, you know what I mean? We got in a fight, and then I got kicked out the club, right? Because I punched this dude in the face for flirting with my girl. I was like, oh, no way, bro, for real. Like, I would have been there, I would have helped you out. No, this is my dude, yada, yada, yada. So we're walking to the B&B, right? And she's still talking. She's still, at this when she starts cussing, she starts getting out of line. Calling him, a little bitch, saying that you not shit, just cussing at her. And then she says something, the audacity of this girl to say something so wild as to, that's why I'm fucking with your friend and not you. That's when I stopped. I stopped. Even I had to intervene and say something. You know what I mean? So I spoke my mind. I spoke my piece. I told her to shut the fuck up. Then I turned around and I looked at him and I told him, bro, you need to check this woman. Like, you cannot let this girl speak to you like this, bro. Especially after all you've done. Especially after how you took care of her today and you did all these things for her, bro. Like, she should not be talking to you like that. So, you know what I mean? It's important that you say something before it gets out of hand. And he just wanted to ignore the subject all together. He just wanted to act like nothing was happening, right? He just, he just said, forget that, let's just go inside, do this or that. I'm like, all right, bro, whatever, you know what I mean? If you can't, I can't step into your life and fix your problems. At some point, as a man, you need to step up and handle your business. So anyways, we pull up to the B&B, right? And there's like 5 of the guys, I have no idea who they were. And the girl, she came in with all of her friends. I'm like, all right, dope. You know what I mean? There's some females, some little vibes I can speak to. There's some guys over there. You know what I mean? We can just chop it up, this and that. And as we're there, right, I see the girl that my friend was talking to, the birthday girl, right? And she's sitting on the table. And another guy is literally leaning again, like she's sitting on the edge of the table and the feet are hanging off, right? And he's like leaning into where her little box is at, and he's like rubbing on her. They're like face to face. She's whispering in his ear, and they're not even trying to hide it. Everybody can clearly see. It's like there's an island right in the middle, and then you have the couches that are literally facing the island. So everybody's just awkwardly sitting, watching what's going on, and he has his back like turned to them. And he's just acting like they're not there. And I keep giving him the eye. I'm like, dude, turn around. I know you see them. Address the situation. And eventually they start just kissing right behind him. And I'm just sitting there thinking, like, I can't even be friends with you, bro. I have to act like I don't know you right now because this is ridiculous. But anyways, I wouldn't do that. I'm a real ass friend. So me and my other homie, we grab him, right, pretty much shove him in the room. And we just give him a little DP, a little fucking gang discipline. What the fuck is wrong with you, bro? What the fuck is wrong with you? Kick this motherfucker out. Kick her and this guy out, bro. You pay for this B&B. You pay for the club. You pay for the car. You paid for the whole event to give this spoiled ass bitch the time of her motherfucking life, for her to just be laid up on somebody else right in front of you, under the roof that you paid for. And he's like, you're right. You guys are right. This is, I mean, he just kept saying, you're right, this and that, you're right. He's like, this dude has been my friend since junior high school. And I'm just sitting here, you're like, mind you, this dude, he has money, right? So the whole point of the story that I'm trying to say right now is that money does not give you everything you want. Money is not the answer to all solutions. Because even from this guy, and I'm not doing my story, even from this guy, you could see that because he has money, he has fake friends around him. He's just blowing all of his money on women that don't even like him. They're just using this guy. You could tell all 10, 12 people at the B&B, nobody gives a fuck about him except for me and my friend, right? The only genuine people that are there are the only ones who don't care that he has money. The only one that don't ever ask him for money. The only one we don't give a fuck about his bread. He explains that this is his best friend and this is the guy that he got in a fight with at the club, and she still invited him over. He's just getting bitched out, right? So I tell him, you need to walk up in there and you need to kick everybody out, right? So we're done. He walks up there and, I could tell that he froze under pressure. He froze and he told everybody that you guys can keep the B&B. I'm going to go get another B&B, which is me and my two friends. And then you guys could, stay here, enjoy your time, enjoy your moment. And that's when I just said, bro, honestly, call me tomorrow when this is over because this is a fucking mess. And me and the homie, we split. And we just left him there. He calls me in the morning and tells me what happens. It turns out that, and you guys aren't going to believe me. I know the story sounds like some shit out of a movie, but it turns out that their rooms were right next to each other, and he can hear them doing shit at night. He slept in the room right next to the girl that he likes getting smashed by his best friend. She's probably moaning. She's probably screaming, yelling, telling him to stop. And he's just sitting there. Probably got so drunk out of his mind. The world is probably spinning for him. He probably just passed out of pure being wasted. You need to go through the process. You need to take your time when it comes to things. You need to be patient to build some type of self-respect. So I know I told the whole story, but that just goes to show that money can still grant you access to baddies and the lifestyle and the things that you want and buying bottle service and all this and that, right? So that is a pro. Having money, there's still pros to this. This opens a whole nother door. Like, women could smell it on you. You just walk different when you have bread. Like a different type of swagger, a different type of confidence, a different type of, I'm a holler at this chick and I'm going to say whatever the hell I want to say, even more than I would if I wasn't jacked, even more crazier than if I was jacked. When you have money, you can just Miami when you're bored, Texas when you're bored, fucking Thailand when you're bored. You gain a lot of respect as well when you have bread because people want money. Everybody wants money. Yes, everybody wants to be jacked, but everybody wants money. So people are willing to give you their last fucking dime to get this shit, to be on the same level that you're on. With money, you have the power to change lives. Your family situation, your kid's situation, your mom's situation, retire your parents, pay off a house. Open doors for people. Invest into people's businesses that they've always wanted. Help people start their dreams. Fund charities. Like, you could genuinely change lives way more than you could by just being a jacked meathead. And like I said, to certain types of women, to upper class women, they would much rather prefer a dude with money than a dude who's jacked. Yeah, it might play around in their fantasies. When they're younger, they might have fucked a college jock, but as they get older, they realize that sometimes that's not all that matters. Nobody wants to struggle and eat protein bars for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Women want to have fun. They want to go to the nicest restaurants. Women want protection. They want to be protected by what money can bring, the high picket fence. Women want provision. Women want to be able to raise their kids and not have to worry about any type of financial problems or showing up or calling out to work. They don't want to worry about these things. And that's understandable as well. They want to have fun. Guys who have money normally have this spontaneous, zest for life as well. They crave spontaneity. They want to get ready right now. We're going to fucking Cabo. Get ready right now. We're going to Lake Havasu. We're going to take the boat out. We're going to enjoy some sun. I've been working my ass off. Let's go. Let's go do it. Fuck it. Let's go do this. Bring your best friend. Call your mom. Tell her we're going. We're taking your mom out to dinner. Women love this type of energy that you have when you have money because you just act different. You're buying everybody shots. When you have money, your woman feels like you're just the man. You're just the one that gets shit done. And when you have money, you just made it. There's nothing more that people can tell you anymore when you have money. Yeah, I've been in conversations where me being fit, it gives me leverage. But when you have money and you came from nothing and now you have everything, the phone calls are a lot different. The energy that they give off, the survivor's guilt tone that they hit you with, it just hits different. It's like a genuine, I am okay now. Compared to you could be jacked and you could still be struggling, but when you have finances, it's like a genuine, I'm okay, I'm doing fine. I'm worried about you. How can I help you? Because I'm not on that other shit anymore. Now I'm worried about the things that I genuinely want, the things that I genuinely care about. I can be who I genuinely am. And when it comes to some of the cons of money, just like the story I was saying, people are going to use you. The people that you have around that were your day ones, they're going to feel entitled to some of the fortune that you have. The new friends that you have are only your friends and they're sucking your dick because they feel like you can change their life. The women, they don't really like you. They just want you for your money. And again, they just truly want you for your money. There is no real, genuine, true love within these relationships anymore. And you're going to be caught in these mental battles between, do these people actually care about me or do they care about my money? And the hard part is, you'll never fucking know. You'll never know. People are so good at lying. People are so conniving. You will never know who truly cares about you. These people will take it to the grave. Your own wife, the bearer of your children, the person you spend every day with in bed is thinking about somebody else. Your best friend is telling his other real friends how much of a sucker you are, how you're only friends with your weird ass because you got something going for you, you got money, and this is a good opportunity for him. Fuck your thoughts, fuck your feelings, fuck your opinions. He doesn't give a shit about you. He's there for what you could provide, for what you could offer. And that's not always a bad thing, to try and surround yourself with people who have some type of value for you, but in some way or form you need to bring some type of genuineness, some type of selflessness to a relationship for it to be able to sustain, right? Because a lot of the times when these people make it, they're not looking for any more help. They're not looking for any more employees. They're not looking for anything else. These people want love. These people want the only thing that money can't buy. They want love. They want affection. They want attention. They want support. They want a genuine soul to be next to them, because money is so soulless. Money and that lifestyle is so heartless. It's so cold. And people just look for compassion. People look for something to warm them up. And most of the times, it's just generated fake heat that they can't differentiate the difference between a real warming body, a real loving soul, and just a fake electric heater, right? They can't determine the difference between these. And this is really the biggest con. Besides the fact that you're probably fat and lazy and unattractive, besides the fact that you probably lack a lot of life experience as well. You have no life experience. You just jumped the gun and you have money at a young age and now you're fucked. Now you're living life like a hot girl. Like your whole life is just bended to your reality, and now you're out here giving terrible advice and doing and making all the wrong decisions, but nobody will tell you anything because everybody wants a piece of your money. Everybody wants a piece of what you can offer. It's not even the fact that you can't relate to people anymore, because most people aren't on your level. Most people, when Drake says things in his songs, nobody could really actually relate because nobody's on that fucking level. So nobody could really sit there and have a true conversation with Drake because everyone's a commoner to him. Nobody can make it to that level of fame, that level of success. So there's not really talk about. There's no relationship and vulnerability that you could have anymore with these people. It's not the fact that you'll have a lot of haters, a lot of daddy's money, a lot of silver spoon comments. It's not the fact that you're now constantly so busy and you don't really have time to sit around and explain to people what you're thinking or how you're feeling in your next move. You just have to go, because speed is so important that you have to go, and most people don't understand this, and they're going to think that you're just being selfish or rude or that you changed. And it's not the fact that once you have everything you want, it's hard to find that spark to go to the gym. It's hard to find that spark within you, that animal within you, that natural strength and drive to go do something difficult day in and day out. It's like a Conor McGregor effect. Before he had money, he was so driven and strong, and he looked unbeatable. But once you gave this fool a whole bunch of money, he started acting, you know what I mean? He just stopped caring. He just stopped caring. And that's what happens when you have money. Well, you don't have that fire, that lion inside of you anymore. Because you're okay. Life is good. But none of these compare to the true loneliness that you're going to feel at the top. None of these compare to that true feeling of not having anybody else around you. It's lonely at the top for a reason. So, if I was really to sit up here and decide which one of these is more important, the one that I think is the most important is both. They're both equally important. You need the mind, you need the finances, and you need the body. The discipline to build the physique and the vision to secure the bag are both equally as important. And both make you undeniable. Being jacked and broke, that's a phase that every man must go through. Because when you're built, even without money, people start to think twice about messing with you. Women notice it, men respect it, and nobody can push you around. But if you just stop at one, you're then incomplete. Only chasing money, you're soft. Only chasing gains, you're stuck. Both are extremely difficult. Both are hard. But that's why both are necessary. That's why both are respected. Stop asking which one is more important. Stop debating that question, because both are two sides of the same puzzle that all of you guys are trying to solve. Master your body and secure your finances so you could be the one that can no longer be replaced. You can become the undeniable one. I'm going to leave a link in my bio to where we can set up a one-on-one consultation. Wavy Drew is my social. It is the same social for every social. So follow me, like, comment, subscribe, and support. Let me know what type of videos you guys like. Let me know what you guys want to hear more of. All these, because I have so much game on all these topics. And if you guys are struggling with not information, but you guys are struggling with implementation, and you're willing to change your life, click the link in the description. And I can show you how to become undeniable. Wavy Drew, I'm out. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it.